In Galatians 3:26, it reads, "For in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith." That makes it even clearer. We're only sons of God through faith in the New Testament. Through faith in Christ. And if you go back to what I just read in the last verse, you can see if we're led by God, if we're led by God's Spirit, then we're the sons of God. Here it makes it even clearer. It says, "For in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith." You weren't originally created in the heavenlies as an angelic being. You are created as a physical human being in this earth. There's quite a difference. It's a vast difference, really. And then I know in Luke 3:38 it talks about Adam, the son of God. Again, that's a child of God, and not in the sense that he is an angelic being, but he is a son of God. He's one of God's sons. The usage means created by God, not created angelic. He's created by God as a human being and not as an angel. So again, we can't just automatically assume that, oh, see, this is the same thing over in the Old Testament as in the New Testament. It's not the same. Two different meanings. So when we go to Genesis 6 and we look at the phrase, it's the same meaning. The Hebrew phrase Beni Elohim means sons of God. It appears only in Job 1:6, Job 2:1, Job 38:7, and in Genesis chapter 6, verse 2 through 4. It only appears that way, sons of God, that specific way. And that's telling us something. In all other locations, the phrase refers only to angels. This strongly supports reading Genesis 6 the same way. In the Old Testament, especially in the books like Job or Genesis, the phrase sons of God is often used to refer to divine or angelic beings. So in those contexts, it's kind of like talking about these heavenly beings or these original celestial figures. Now, when you jump over to the New Testament, like in the Gospel of John, when it talks about those who believe in Christ being children of God, I know King James says sons of God, but the word, if you go and look, and I showed you, is children of God. It's more appropriate. It's more about relational or spiritual adoption. So in the Greek word tekna, children, you really emphasize that believers are brought into God's family as his children. Not in a literal angelic sense, but in a spiritual, familiar sense, like a family. So in other words, in the Old Testament, sons of God tends to have that more supernatural or celestial connotation. In fact, I'm going to say it does. I have to just keep reading through, and everything that I've shown you is quite clear. In the New Testament, it's more about believers being welcomed as God's children through faith. So it's the same phrase, but used in two different ways. Now, in the next video, I'm going to give even more clarity through some of the traditional writings and some of the things that people allude to, even when Peter is talking and when Jude is talking. We're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at some of the other alternate interpretations. In particular, I've been mentioning Seth. Some people believe Seth is talking about the sons of God, but it just doesn't fit, and I'm going to show you why in the next video. Stay tuned.